I'm about to give two TEDx talks this fall.
Okay.
One in near Houston and one near Orlando. I'm scheduled. I'm two different talks, but on the same topic. And the topic is about alpha wolves and this whole alpha masculinity concept that's being, particularly by guys like Jocko Willink and Sneeko and Andrew Tate and even Joe Rogan a little bit, which is, brutal, ruthless competitors, never apologize,
Mm-hmm.
top dog, in a dog eat dog world. And that is based on a lie. The whole alpha wolf concept was based upon observations of captive wolves in the 40s and later in the 60s that were completely wrong. And we know that in the wild, alpha wolves are much more like Ichnik. They're benevolent caretakers. They understand
Mm-hmm.
that the strength of the family determines their survivability as individuals. Wolves are incredibly family oriented. They care for their young as well or better than humans care for their young. Their families are just like ours. Packs are not made of unrelated individuals. Every wolf pack forms when a boy wolf and a girl wolf like each other, find a place that is unoccupied by other wolves, and they have puppies, and that's a pack. And so I don't even like to use the term pack. I always use the term family group because that's
Mm-hmm.
really what they are. It's dogs form packs, loosely associated, come together, spread apart, association by convenience. Wolves are association by blood. And the violence of wolf on wolf conflict is not within the same family typically, uh, only in very rare occasions, but rather wolf family versus wolf family over territorial boundaries for better hunting, just like humans, just like humans. So I would say that the most important things are the alpha wolf myth is not true, that wolves bear more similarities to us than potentially any other mammalian species on Earth. They're so much like us. That's why dogs became our family, is because they are so much like us socially and culturally. And then, the other thing that is also featured in my talk is, and how I really learned this lesson personally is that, early in my life working with wolves, I had a more inaccurate view of what it meant to be the boss. And I wasn't an abusive boss, but I was a sterner boss. And at one point, I did something. You can read about this actually. If you, I'll send you a link so it's easy for you to find. But I made a mistake, and I had a wolf attack me, and he nearly killed me. I was very badly hurt. And the things I learned were, don't do that. How really strong they are. I mean, it's amazing how people think that they can tackle a wild animal, and I'm just telling you, I was in the best shape I've ever be in as a person, and I was a pro athlete. I was wearing enough clothes for 20 below all day, so I was very well protected. And he broke one of my arms in 37 places. They almost amputated my arm. And if he did that through all that kind of clothes, the only reason I'm even here is because I had a girlfriend with me who was a professional horsewoman, and she was absolutely fearless, and she saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but again, I like to emphasize that happened because he thought. So what happened was we were taking photos deep in the woods. I had that animal whose name was Jake on a leash because we were done. His mate, Jessa, who I'd had her whole life, was being difficult. She was like playing tag with me and racing around and not let me get her. And I was afraid she was going to get down to this little mountain highway in the dark and get run over. And I was cold and we were tired and I was getting frustrated. And when she ran by me, I just sort of pounced on her, like just grabbed her. And she squeaked like, "Beep." And Jake thought I was attacking her. And he was like, no, no. And he just straight away attacked me. And I know now that I have a whole leadership framework that I call Benevolent Alpha, where I work with like executives to help them become better leaders of teams and companies. And in my Benevolent Alpha framework, you, in a situation like that, you mirror the behavior of the group. And in this case, she was being playful. And instead of getting frustrated and being aggressive, what I should have done was reciprocated the play and moved away from the dangerous situation and got her to follow me and play with me. And I could have maintain control of the situation in a much gentler, more benevolent, more altruistic way. And I would not have created the tension that resulted in the other wolf deciding to attack me.